but he just kind of like unzipped himself, pulled out his junk, and just let loose. So awesome. This video is brought to you by all my Patreon supporters. Go Team Awesome! Yokoso peeps, it's Oz, and today I'm going to be talking about just 10 of the hundreds of things that are unique and interesting that are part of Japan that foreigners find shocking. As borders start slowly opening up and Japan starts letting people into the country again, a lot of foreigners are going to be coming to Japan for the first time. So you might not know about some of the interesting things of Japan that are different from your country. So of course Japan has a unique language, a unique writing style, unique sports, and unique cuisine, but there's also a lot of unusual things about Japan as well. So let's get to it. So this might not be a unique or weird thing as much anymore because of the coronavirus pandemic, where a lot of countries are now adopting the face mask wearing culture. But Japanese people have been wearing masks for years and for many different reasons. But Japanese people were wearing masks not just for protecting themselves from something like coronavirus, but for many other different reasons. So the most obvious and popular reason was to prevent a spreading of germs like cold and common cold or for flu. So since Japan is a very small country, very crowded, very narrow, a lot of people are packed together in a lot of tight spaces, especially on trains, buses, and public transportation. But besides the germ reason, another popular reason for Japanese people wearing masks is to protect themselves from allergies or pollen. A lot of Japanese people suffer from pollen or air or other dust kind of allergies, so wearing masks kind of filters the air for them, and it allows them to reduce the symptoms that allergies can cause, such as runny nose or itchy eyes or coughing. A lot of young people wear masks for fashion. So recently you can get different types of masks, different styles of masks, different colors of masks, and even different kinds of designs on the masks. Another popular reason for masks is for the anonymity. Privacy. Sometimes women who are hostesses or part of the red light district area don't want to reveal their faces out in public in the case someone might recognize them, often wear masks going to and from work. Also, many celebrities and many famous people who are in Japan who are out and about in the city don't want to get recognized, so they'll also wear masks. And more recently, a lot of shy people or those people who suffer from social disorders often feel like they can't face themselves in public literally. Hiding their face is kind of like a protection from the outside world. You would think that garbage would be the same anywhere in the world. Use something and discard it. And although a lot of countries are adopting a lot of different kinds of garbage and recycling rules, I think Japan's is still one of the most complex and difficult. And I think a lot of foreigners will be shocked. Not only is there a lot of garbage rules, but that garbage cans are hard to find. A tip for that is to look for garbage cans at either train stations or in front of convenience stores. Other than that, it's going to be hard to find garbage cans out and around the city. And about garbage separation, depending on the city or the town you live in, the rules can differ. And some of the examples of the categories of separating are glass bottles, cans, plastic bottles but with the cap separated. There's paper and burnable and unburnable. If you make a mistake or you just dump all your garbage into one thing, the crazy, strict garbage Nazi lady who will be standing outside and checking everyone's garbage to make sure it's good, and if you just leave a bag there and if it's not the right bag color or the right day or the right things inside, they might open up the bag and spread everything out on the floor, and then they'll either wait for you to repackage it the right way, or they'll try to figure out where you live and they'll take everything and leave it outside of your door with a note saying please separate your garbage properly, otherwise it won't be picked up. Not that that's happened to me. This is actually quite surprising to a lot of foreigners, especially considering Japan has some of the best service in the world. Staff in Japan are extra polite and go out of their way to satisfy their customers. You'll notice a lot of foreigners are saying, wow, like Japanese customer service is amazing. They bow when they greet you, they're polite to you, they go out of their way not only with before the sales but even after the sale and to greet you and to say goodbye to you as well. And the most shocking part is that none of these staff expect any tip. Even if you try to offer a tip, they'll most likely refuse or accept it politely but not really expect it. And it's not just that restaurants don't accept tips, but most places where you would expect tips to be taken, like taxis or hotels like front lobby or bellman or whatever, none of those people take tips as well. So a lot of people who know about Japan might not be shocked to hear that Japanese people don't wear shoes indoors in their home. But they're probably gonna get shocked when they get here to see how extreme the no shoe thing is. All Japanese households, of course, have an area in front of their door called the genkan, where everyone leaves their shoes and either comes into the house with no shoes or with specific indoor slippers. If you don't know that, then please be aware of that, because Japanese people will freak the F out.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
何土足で張ってんだこの野郎土足じゃねえかお前土足なんだよお前
What?
どこ見てんだほら違うよお前脱げよほら
Oh! Sorry. Sorry.
何言ってんだお前何が総理だこの野郎
Some homes provide slippers, some don't. I guess it's up to you or up to the people of the home. If there's some provided, I usually wear some. Also be aware that when you go to the bathroom, some places, some restaurants, and some offices and some homes even have specific slippers for just the bathroom. So you remove your indoor slippers and change into toilet slippers when you go into the bathroom. And like I said, it's not just homes. A lot of workplaces, all schools, and a lot of restaurants as well have the no shoe policy. Many hotels and gyms have specific place lockers where you put your shoes in before you enter the hotel or the gym. All schools require teachers and students to take off their shoes at the genkan entrance area, put them into lockers, and get your indoor shoes. So my recommendation for travelers is definitely to wear shoes that are easy to slip on and off. Like I mentioned in my last video where I was talking about things that piss off Japanese people, trains, like I said in that video, are a very quiet, decompressing place for people who are working or commuting long distances to relax and sleep. And in the day, a lot of Japanese people will be sleeping on the train because they're tired in the morning, they have long commutes or whatever. But in the evening, the reason is very different. And that reason is drunkenness. You'll notice that a lot of Japanese people are going to be drunk on the train in the evenings because after work, they go out drinking with their friends or coworkers or their bosses. And you'll notice a lot of them really wobbly or passed out on the train. And sometimes not just on the seats, but sometimes on different parts of the train. And it's not just young people. You're gonna find every age, from students to office workers to senior citizens, who are tipsy and wobbling and passed out drunk. And the amount of puke on the streets of Friday and Saturday night will definitely be shocking. And you might think, oh, that's just like some random rare occurrence, but I've been here for a long time, and I'm gonna tell you that is not a unique situation like once in a blue moon. It's pretty much every weekend. And here is the weirdest incident that I've encountered in the 10 years or whatever that I've been living in Japan. So I was sitting on a train near the end of the night. It wasn't the last train, but maybe one or two trains before the last train. And there was this guy, drunk guy, definitely drunk, standing by the door. And I don't know why, maybe in his mind he thought he had entered the bathroom, but he just kind of like unzipped himself, pulled out his junk, and just let loose. I've never seen so much urine in my life, and you could see the panic in everyone's eyes. And those of us who are sitting were lucky enough to kind of lift up our legs like this and kind of just like make sure that the urine passed by us. And everyone in the train was in shock and don't mind the pun, but pissed. And like we were like, oh my god, now what? And then the train finally came to a stop at the next station. The doors opened, and luckily it was my time to get off, so I just quickly, as much as I could, avoided the pee puddles and jumped out of the train. And as the crowds of people came in, didn't know until the doors closed, and then I slowly was watching this train because I was in shock. I wanted to see what happened. And it was funny because you could see like a wave of people slowly realizing what they saw over there in the corner, where the guy with his junk dangling out, and then looking on the ground and seeing all pee everywhere. And you can see in their face that they were like, ah, fuck. Okay, speaking of relieving yourself, this is also a shocking place for a lot of foreigners. I think toilets are different in a lot of countries and a lot of regions around the world, different shapes and different styles. But I think Japan has the biggest gap between the types of toilets. Because on one hand, you have these kind of like hole in the floor kind of toilet squatter things where sometimes there's no toilet paper. On the other end of the spectrum, you can find toilets that are so modern that You don't have to touch anything at all. And there's sensors that lift the toilet seat up. There's the warm seats so you don't feel cold in the winter time. There's bidets and sensors and music for background to hide your noises, and it's so modern and such a difference from the old school and new school that it shocks a lot of foreign people. And depending on where you are, you might find only the new kind, only the old kind, or a lot of times both. Hopefully you won't come across those, but if you do, just make sure you're squatting the right way and you adjust your pants the right position, the right angle, so you don't soil yourself. Once again, I'm not speaking from personal experience. Japan is known for two things when it comes to vending machines. One, the amount of vending machines that Japan has, and the stuff that's inside. Japan actually has the most vending machines per capita, with over 5 million vending machines across the country. So vending machines can be found in all different areas, from big cities and big train stations to remote areas where there's not a lot of people or a lot of things around. You can even find them near mountains and forests. There's even vending machines near temples in case you get thirsty during mid-pray. And the actual variety of products that are available in vending machines is usually shocking to a lot of foreigners. So of course there's typical vending machines that sell hot drinks, cold drinks, coffee, soft drinks, and snacks. But there's also a lot of vending machines that would sell random things that you would never expect to be sold in a vending machine. You can find ice cream, books, stationery, fruits, vegetables, rice. You can get hot meals, like full on like McDonald's kind of like burger sets and hot dog sets, and even clothing. And the rumors that you can find used women's underwear is actually not a rumor, it's very true. If you head to Akihabara, the anime and manga capital of the world, you can go to this adult shop that sells used women's underwear in vending machines. You can check out my video, I think the card is here, and you can see what I'm talking about. And speaking of used underwear, love hotels are another popular and important part of Japanese culture that have been around for ages. A place for young Japanese people to go to get intimate with their loved one. This place kind of grew out of need when a lot of people used to live with their parents and grandparents, and of course Japanese houses, if you can imagine, are very narrow, very small, and the walls are very thin and easy to hear. So as a form of privacy, these kind of love hotels grew out of necessity. And unlike regular hotels where you need reservations or you need to stay overnight, love hotels charge like hourly rates or short service stays, and also they don't require any reservations. Also, love hotels provide a lot of benefits that regular Japanese hotels don't provide. And I think this is where a lot of foreigners get shocked, because first of all, the actual outer area of the love hotel is very shocking because they're usually in a very interesting, colorful, or funny theme. One shocking thing about the love hotels that foreigners find is there's no ID required, there's no passport required, it's very private, and also usually there's no front desk staff. Everything is done electronically. You never really see anyone face to face. You just touch a screen to choose a room, you go in, you pay in the room sometimes. Even going in the hotel to your room and exiting is a different elevator. Not only are they bigger than most Japanese hotel rooms, they are a lot more fancier, they're nicer, they have big jacuzzis with like bubbles, and they have big screen televisions and huge beds and a lot of other perks. You can rent cosplay, you get a lot of amenities that are not available in other hotels, and there's even in-room service with a lot of sometimes free amazing food and desserts. Actually, here's the love hotel I stayed at. I still think it's one of the best ones I've ever stayed at. You can check it up here as well in the card. And yeah, it was an interesting adventure. And if you check out my video, you'll notice the theme of that room was very kawaii, very cute, but there's a lot of different themes, and that's what I think is appealing and shocking to a lot of foreigners as well. There's rooms that are designed like for Disneyland kind of look, or like a Hello Kitty look, or you can get like a pirate ship or a prison, or inside a public transportation train, or one that looks like a high school classroom. There's every fetish that you could possibly imagine has a room that's catered to that kind of fetish. You might think bowing is a stereotypical gesture, maybe found in like ancient Japanese movies, but bowing is still a big, huge part of Japanese culture today. There's a bow for every greeting, for every occasion, and for every person. Bows are a form of bonding, a form of greeting, or a form of thanking, respecting someone. In workplace situations, you'll see a lot of staff bowing to customers, or subordinates bowing to their superiors, or just people in general bowing to each other, coming to work and leaving work. Agreeing on partnerships, attending business meetings, or any meeting in general requires a lot of bowing as well. And even outside, out and about the city, you'll see a lot of Japanese people, either friends or family or whatever, that are always bowing to each other when they're saying hello or leaving, or even during conversation. So as a tourist, you might be just shocked at the amount of bowing that goes on, and you might not know who to bow to and who not to bow to. But I would say the general rule is just do a slight bow to anyone you see that you make eye contact with, and or just follow what other people are doing and bow according to them. Kawaii is the word for cute in Japanese, and is probably the most used word in the Japanese language. And everything in Japan you're going to come across is probably going to be kawaii. And the kawaii culture of Japan has spread even more because of the spreading of manga, anime, idols, video games. Pretty much any kind of fashion and trend in Japan involves some kind of kawaii. A lot of Japanese women and Japanese girls wear clothing and makeup and fashion to look more kawaii and to appeal, to make themselves look younger and more cute. You'll also find a lot of kawaii mascots and characters, not only for kids products, but for everything from city mascots, team mascots, to like the police mascot, to even like serious businesses, for example, a funeral service. And every city, in fact, in Japan has something called yurukera, which is the character that represents their town or their city. Also, watching TV in Japan, a lot of foreigners are shocked at the TV. When you turn on the TV in your hotel room, or when you're out and about and you see TV, you will notice how colorful it is compared to I guess other TV shows. For example, in America, the sets are very neon and colorful and bright, almost like kids television shows, but they're actually shows that are made for adults. I'm sure that's one of the appeals to foreigners, is the kawaii-ness of Japan, but I think it's still shocking once you get here to see how deep the kawaii goes. So there you go, those are 10 things that I feel that foreigners find shocking when they first visit Japan. What other things did you find the weird or strange when you first came to Japan? Or what are some weird or shocking things about your country? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up if you like this video and share, and also subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos, because my videos are awesome. OzzyAwesome. Take care and see you next time. Peace.